Three young people who don't look very old are brought to a prison in an army truck with their eyes blindfolded. They're not alone. Many others like them have no idea where this prison is, what their crime is, or whether they're facing life imprisonment or the death penalty. They were taken from their homes in the middle of the night without explanation and brought here. But one thing they all know for sure, this is happening for one reason only: speaking the truth. All of them stood against a government that has become corrupt and indifferent to where the country is headed. Anyone who tries to expose the truth is captured and thrown into prison. That's exactly what happened to these three. In English, they're called political prisoners. The moment they enter the prison, they realize this isn't just a jail, it's hell. Screams echo from all sides. Men and women are being beaten like animals. The smell is unbearable. Then, they are shoved into a cell with just a single opening for light and air. Whatever light comes through is a matter of luck. After some time, a general arrives and gives them clothes. Their clothes are then shoved into their mouths, and they are doused in petrol. They're choking and gasping for air. But the guards enjoy doing this, and they keep going until they get bored. Then they leave. When the guards are gone, the prisoners remove the clothes from their mouths. A little light enters through the small opening, and for a moment, they feel hopeful. It gives them just enough strength to go on. But soon, they find a piece of paper with the jail's rules written on it. The rules are cruel. They are not allowed to sit. If they do sit, they will no longer be allowed to stand. They cannot talk to the guards or the staff. They are not allowed to talk to each other either, even if they share the same cell. If anyone breaks these rules, they'll be sent to a cell so horrific that no one can imagine what happens inside. Surprisingly, the three manage to survive. They're getting food, water, and a bit of sunlight so they continue living. But when the general finds out the rules aren't breaking them, he covers the only window with a steel sheet, leaving just a few holes for air, making their lives even more miserable. After a month, they're transferred to another prison, far more brutal and dangerous than the first. Here, they're barely fed or given water. At times, they're forced to drink or eat their own waste. Their bodies start to break down within days. Even animals are kept in better conditions. Their feet are chained, their hair and beards overgrown. Food is no longer served in plates, and yet they're licking the floor, desperate for even a taste. One day, the jailer tells them they'll stay there forever. Their youth, old age, and death, all will happen inside this prison. This news is terrifying. One of them, Morrison, is visited by his family, a rare moment, as most prisoners never get to see their loved ones. When he sees them, he can't believe they're really there. He tells his mother he's never getting out. He's been given life imprisonment. His daughter cries, calling out, but his time is up, and the guards drag him back inside. A few days later, some prisoners are moved again, this time to a smaller jail that's completely underground. It has a circular cell beneath the main one, with light coming only from above. There's no one to talk to, and they're not given any food. They grow even weaker, barely alive, like ghosts waiting to fade. One night, they hear firecrackers outside. The guards are celebrating. It's New Year's. Morrison watches the fireworks through a tiny window and thinks of his daughter. He remembers how they used to celebrate New Year's together. But now it's been years. The other prisoners, too, feel the pain of being away from their families, punished only for thinking about the country's future. That night, the guards come and throw leftover food in front of them, scraps from the New Year celebration. Desperate and starving, Morrison crawls over and eats the leftovers like a wild animal. After months of this suffering, one day a prisoner named John hears knocking on the wall from the next cell. He replies by knocking back. This is how they start communicating. The number of knocks represents words, and over time, they develop a system. It's not much, but it's better than nothing. One day, the guards take John to the washroom and tie his hands so he can't sit. He tells them, "If I can't sit, how will I relieve myself?" Hearing this, they call the general. After thinking for a moment, the general agrees to untie his hands, but only if he relieves himself in front of them. John must have thought, what kind of life is this, where a man isn't even allowed privacy? Another prisoner imagines his mother outside the prison window. He feels like she's talking to him, but she's not really there. She's outside the prison walls. The guards had allowed her to visit, but once she arrived, the jailer refused and told her to come back later. Still, she waits in the rain all day and all night, hoping to see her son. Heavy rain pours through the night, but she's not allowed to meet him. Eventually, heartbroken, she returns home. Now the prisoners are moved to a fifth prison. Back then, this was common. They kept transferring political prisoners from jail to jail, so no one from the outside world could ever know their exact location. To the public, they would showcase a clean, safe, modern jail, proof of a good government. But in reality, people who raised their voice were falsely accused of treason and disappeared into unknown prisons. This new prison has huge cells, so the guards draw lines to separate areas and stop prisoners from crossing into others. Each prisoner is monitored closely, especially those who are held together, to prevent any form of communication. One day, a guard is overheard saying his daughter was upset because he didn't come home for the last holiday. He wants to write her a heartfelt letter. Morrison, one of the prisoners, hears this and offers to help. "I'm a writer," he says. The guard agrees. Morrison writes the letter, and the guard is so pleased with it that he sends it home immediately. Later, the same guard comes and takes Morrison away. Morrison fears the worst, that he'll be beaten or killed, as has happened before. But instead, he's brought before the general. The general asks him to write a romantic letter for his girlfriend, who's angry with him. Morrison agrees and writes it. The general reads it, loves it, and as a reward, gives him food and cigarettes, a rare comfort that brings Morrison a bit of relief. For a while, things get better. But then Morrison is moved again to yet another prison. As I said, no prisoner is kept in one place for long. On the way, he asks to use the toilet. When the cloth is removed from his face, he sees the open sky, and it feels like heaven. He realizes it's been years since he last saw it. This new prison is made of red stone, which attracts bugs and insects. It's extremely small and full of hardships. He screams for days, but no one hears him. Again, he resorts to knocking on the wall to communicate, since he's still not allowed to speak. Eventually, he's moved to a slightly better cell in the same jail. It has a small bed. Sometimes, they're even allowed to speak with their families, a chance to meet sisters and daughters. These are happy moments for them. But then something strange happens. One day, each cell is filled with good food, books, and furniture. The prisoners are shocked and overjoyed. After so much suffering, this feels like a dream. They begin reading, eating, and living those rare moments of happiness. But just as suddenly as it arrived, it's all taken away. Without warning, the books, tables, beds, everything is removed. This too was a form of torture. No matter how much a person is beaten from the outside, as long as their spirit remains, they survive. But once that spirit is broken from the inside, they truly fall apart. That's what was being done here. Give them a taste of joy, only to snatch it away, leaving them shattered. It's like someone you love comes into your life, and just when you get used to their presence, they vanish without a word. When John's mother finally comes to meet him, he tells her that he's going to rot in this place forever, that no one cares about him anymore. But being a mother, she hides her pain. She knows if she breaks down, John will too. So she smiles through her tears and tells him to stay strong. "Everything will be fine," she says. "You just have to be brave." And just like that, time keeps moving. The cycle of transferring them from one prison to another continues, and with each transfer, the conditions become worse than before. But now, they've learned how to survive. More than 3,000 days have passed. Locked inside these four walls, the three of them have seen no sign of hope, no light that says they'll ever walk free again. Then one day, the same jailer comes to Morrison and shows him his wedding ring. He says he finally got married, all thanks to the letters Morrison wrote. He impressed his girlfriend with them. As a thank you gift, he gives Morrison permission to sit outside in the sunlight. And that day, for the first time in years, they feel the warmth of the sun. They lie there in silence, soaking in that moment. But even then, they're not allowed to speak, because the jailer knows that emotions can be powerful, even dangerous. So they remain quiet, lost in the feeling. Later, in 1984, they are moved to one final prison. Surprisingly, this one is a bit better. It even has a mirror. When they see their own faces after so many years, they get lost in thought. Did we really do something for the country? They wonder. Those who sacrifice everything get nothing, while dishonest people enjoy wealth and power. And with these thoughts, the days go by until one day, everything changes. They hear that the government has been overthrown, and that they are now free. Free, after 12 long years. They can't believe it. For the rest of the world, 12 years might just be a number. But for the ones who lived through it, it was a lifetime, a living hell. As they step out of the prison, the entire city welcomes them. Their families are there. Wives, sisters, children, all waiting. They had sacrificed their husbands, brothers, and fathers for the country. And now, after years, those loved ones have come back home. There are tears everywhere. A flood of emotions. They had given away their youth, their lives, for their country. But their sacrifices did not go in vain. Because of what these three endured, they are now given the chance to lead the nation. And with that, this story comes to an end. So that's it. Hope you enjoy the story. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more videos.